You've probably heard people say that gratitude can change your life. But let's be honest, does writing "I'm grateful for my morning coffee" in a notebook really do anything? Well, I used to wonder the same thing, so I decided to do something a little different. Instead of just writing in a notebook, I'm making my gratitude journal in full junk journal style, with layers, textures, ephemera, and all the little details that make it feel special. And today I'm showing you how to start yours too. Welcome, it's Barbara from Vienna, Austria. About a month ago, before posting this current video, I shared a tutorial on how I made these beautiful blue dyed papers. If you haven't seen this and would like to know the secret to getting this beautiful blue, and no, it's not food coloring, then check out the video linked below. At the end of that video, I shared how these kinds of papers could look like put together with some digital papers. And I put together this signature in a way that I would never put it into a journal because it is way too fat, but I just wanted to give you an impression of how these papers could look in combination with a digital kit. And I believe in that video I also mentioned that I would be sharing how I put together a gratitude journal. So this is what's happening today, as you know from the title. So I'm going to be taking this apart again. I just love this gold. Oh my goodness. I also added some other dyed papers that I had in my stash. I have a whole playlist linked for you below with various paper dyeing techniques where you will also find out how I get these kind of results, or this here also with gold, etc. So let me introduce my gratitude templates. And thank you so much for all of you who have already checked these out in my shop or have purchased them. Thank you so much. So this kit has 9 pages and I have put a lot of thought into making these templates. I'm very much into gratitude. I think it's a wonderful tool for more positive thinking. So let me show you what these look like. So this is obviously a cover page. So I would be cutting this out and putting that on the cover of my journal. And then we have the following templates. And by the way, these are printed on matte photo paper, which is why the colors are so beautifully vibrant. So we have moments of gratitude. So people I'm grateful for, memories that make me smile, and goals I'm thankful to pursue. And I have printed some of these templates double-sided, and on some pages I have different images on the background. Then on this one we have a gratitude jar, and it says here, write one thing you're grateful for each day inside the jar. It can be a small moment, a kind word, or something that made you smile. Then we have a weekly gratitude check-in, best moment of the week, a challenge I overcame, and what made me smile. And this side here is left blank intentionally because these pages are meant for you to maybe add some ephemera. I also have an ephemera kit that goes with these templates, but you can of course make your own ephemera. You could add photos or anything you want, obviously. And the good thing about these is that you can print them out as often as you want. So the journal that I will be making is for 1 month. So I have printed these out 4 times so that I have one for each week. Then we have more weekly reflections here. We have today I feel blank because, and then you can add why. A small thing that lifted my mood was, and how I nurtured my emotions this week. And then this I think is really fun. So we have a black and white flower and it has 7 petals. So for each day of the week, and you can define what color has which emotion. So we have joyful and energized, peaceful and grateful, calm and reflective, tired or overwhelmed, frustrated or stressed, or low or drained. On the back here, I printed one of my dyed blue papers. Actually, this one is exactly this one here. Many of you have asked in the comments of this video whether these colors will fade over time. I cannot tell you this because I did this about a month ago. So far, I cannot tell that they have faded, but others have used similar techniques and have said that theirs faded. So I decided to make these into a digital kit as well. That way I don't have to worry about any fading of color. And this kit is also available in my shop, and I will link it for you below. This one has 14 pages. Then we have Today I'm Grateful For, One Expected Joy I Experienced Today, and Someone I'm Thankful For and Why. And again, this page is left for you to do whatever you wish. Then on the back, we have a template for a letter that we can just leave for ourselves in our journal, or we could actually send it to somebody. So you address that person. I would like to take this moment to express my gratitude for you. You have brought joy to my life in the following ways. I mean, I would love to receive a letter like this. And then we have 1 year from now, I hope to look back and be grateful for, and what I can do today to support this goal. And lastly, we also have a template with just empty space for some journaling. And this is again the page we had before. And I also have a curated gratitude journal kit, which has 17 pages in total. So that includes all of the templates from the gratitude journal, including the cover, as well as a few of these papers, because I think they match so well with our theme here. I mean, this turquoise and this turquoise, they're just perfect together. And there's also a few pages of another older kit of mine, because I think they work so well with this kit also, which are these here. And these are from my Dreaming of Summer kit. So in this case, I printed some of the blue dyed papers on one and the Dreaming of Summer kit on the other page. On the other side, sorry. So when you print these out, you can just decide what you want on which backside of the templates, or how often you want to print each page. It is very, very flexible, and you can adapt it to whatever your needs are. So I'm going to add these pages here, which are just repeats, because as I said, I want 4 of the weekly gratitude check-ins. Again, I printed some of the blue papers on the back side here as well. And we have one more. And then, since these are also weekly pages, I also printed these with the blue papers on the back side. So I have all of my pages together, and I will be adding more papers inside. So currently I have 13 pages plus my cover page. So my next step will be to fold all of these pages, not the cover page, but all of these other pages in half. I'll just use my little vintage iron here to make a nice crease. And no, this is not hot. I always get this question when I use this. I found this at a flea market. It is actually Austrian. It's called Bugolette. And of course, this would have been heated in the past, but of course, for folding paper, I'm not going to heat it up. And obviously you can make a gratitude journal without these templates. And then just add your own questions or affirmations. For me, creasing these papers is so therapeutic. It relaxes me so much. I think I could be doing this all day long. So next I'm going to take this signature that I showed you at the beginning, and I'm going to pull out some of these other pages that I want to include in this journal. Again, these are some other coffee dyed papers. You can see how I do these in my coffee dyeing playlist. Some vintage magazine papers. I just love the blue here. This one here was gifted to me. It's so gorgeous. I don't know what was used here to get this beautiful design. Also, this one was gifted to me. Absolutely stunning. And then also there is this kit, which is the same design as the gratitude journal, but they're pages with just the images without the templates. And these are called watercolor meadows. You can also find these linked below. These also come as an undated planner kit. If you want to see how those look, you can check out my latest Plan With Me video, which I will also link for you below. Okay, so let's put this aside. So we have all of these to add in between here. So now it's time to think about how to put the signatures together. Given that I want this gratitude journal to be for 1 month, and I have 4 of each of the weekly templates, it would make sense to make 4 signatures so that each signature will have 1 of each of these. And then what I have left over is these. So there's 2 more templates here. And it would have probably made a little more sense to not print these back to back, because now I only have 2 pages. That means 2 of these signatures are going to get 1 more double page with templates, and 2 are not going to have them, but that's fine because I can always also add any gratitude or affirmations or journaling to any other page. So I will include these, maybe 1 in the first one and 1 in the third one. And then I have these 3 left. That's just the way I printed it. Again, you can just print it however you want to. So these are basically blank. So I'll have 1, 2, 3. And then since I don't have a 4th one, I'll just take 1 original one and add that here. So that means I have 4 pages, 3 pages, 4 pages, 3 pages. So let me add 2 more of the original ones. To those signatures that only had 3 pages. So 1 and 2. Then I can distribute these. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let me put that together and then we'll see what that looks like and if we need to add anything else. So maybe I'll start each signature with this weekly reflection page, and then we have the coloring on the other side. So that's signature number 1. So again, we'll start with the weekly reflections. Number 2. Three. I also just love how coffee dyed papers go so well with this kit. And there's number 4. So given that this is a journal for writing in, I don't want to make this too much of a gator mouth because that will make it very hard to write. So I think I will just leave it at that. So that means 4 signatures with 7 folded pages each makes 28 folded pages in total in case you want to follow along and make a similar journal. Okay, let's try something fun. Yesterday, I got a direct message on Instagram from dear Mary. She sent me this fun video. I want to share this with you. So this is by an account called She Let It Flow. She makes these very fun cards and also other things. So if you want to follow her on Instagram, please do so. Thank you again, Mary, for sending me this video. So fun. And she said, you used to make splatters with a bottle of ink with a foam top, but they don't make those anymore. Here's a fun alternative. And then she said, I hope to see you do it in a YouTube video. So here we are, Mary. Thank you so much. What Mary is referring to are these daubers that are no longer produced since a long time now, actually. So they have this foam top and they're really great to make splatters. Let me show you. How cool is that? I mean, that is just so fun. So the idea is to get a similar effect like this, but without these. Let's give that a try. I have not tried it yet. Let's just leave that here. So I am choosing 3 watercolors. I'll choose this beautiful dark turquoise, then this red, and then we'll also take this mustard yellow. And I think or maybe I'm just looking at the colors here. Maybe instead of yellow, we should do an orange. So probably this one. So I have 3 glass bowls here. They're not bowls, they're more dishes than bowls, I guess. Let's move these out of the way. So I'm going to wet these with water. And then we'll just add these to our little dishes. I'm not certain how much water to add. We can adjust if it's not working. And then the only cotton I have at the moment, because I'm assuming she was using cotton, are these maxi pads here. So let's tear some bits off. I don't think we need big pieces. I think these cotton balls would be really nice. Okay, I'm excited. Let's start off with the orange. Oh, wait. We need something to smack on it. Okay, so I have this beautiful hammer. It has a round bottom. I think this will be perfect. I don't know if this, should this piece be round? No, I don't know. I guess it depends how large you want your splatter to be. I need more water. So we need to drench this. This, of course, is soaking up a lot. We need more water. I think it really needs to be drenched to have such a good splatter effect. Okay, that is pretty wet. So let's try this. Oh my goodness. Okay, it's not quite the same effect, obviously. And of course, it's not as pigmented as these are, because these are inks. Okay, let's try it with the red. The red and the dark turquoise are a lot more pigmented because those are artist grade watercolors, whereas the orange is not. That's student grade. This is not going to be wet enough. Wow. So it's definitely splattering, but not necessarily as nice and round as this. But that's okay. I mean, I think as long as it's pigmented like this, I don't really care that it's not round. Wow. What I like about this one more is that the middle is as saturated as the outside, whereas here and here, you see the inside, of course, which is where the cotton was laying, is not as pigmented. And this one isn't as good because the watercolor isn't such a great quality. But definitely something we can play with. So I'll be adding some splatters to some of the pages. Let's see how much they go through to the other side. Oh, look. These here go through a lot, so be careful when you do that. The watercolors also, but having said that, this is regular copy paper, so my matte photo paper is probably not going to do that as much. We'll see. And I am actually going to use these since I have them and I want to use them up, but as you saw, you can also do it with watercolors. So as you saw, you really have to bang it quite hard to get this splatter effect. I'm not sure how great that is for that foam top. I have the feeling it squishes it down a bit over time if you do it too often. But yeah, here we are. The red one is so juicy. Oh my goodness, I think that's my favorite. And yes, it would make sense to do this. Oh, let's see. Yeah, this totally went through to the other side because this is copy paper and it's coffee dyed. This will go through, which is fine. But just so you're aware. Oh yeah, let's see. See here, it didn't go through because this is the matte photo paper. This is the one I use. It's 110 GSM. It's a German brand called Schwarzwaldmühle. And it's for inkjet. Of course, it would make more sense to do these splatters when you have your pages laid out and you don't have to dry each one like I do now when I'm doing it in the signature, because obviously when I fold over the next page, this needs to be dry. But doing it this way, I can see better where I want the colors to go and also which colors to choose for that particular page. So I'm not going to go crazy on this one. Maybe let's do a blue one. We haven't tried the blue yet. See, this is already, I don't know if you can tell, this is already quite flat. So this again comes out very different because this is a like half shiny magazine page. So once that dry, it looks like this. Very, very uneven. And let's check the back side. It came through just a little bit. So maybe always test your paper if you are worried about bleeding through. This one even bled through to the next page. I'm not worried about it. And this is the back side. On this page, we just have a few of the splatters. Yeah, so I'm not going to do any more on this magazine page because that didn't come out so great. So there's the back side, and that's it for signature number 1. So I will keep doing that for the other 3 signatures. I said before this was ink, and actually this says here it's a fluid dye. Does that count as an ink? I don't know. Actually, it also says shake well before using. And maybe one more tip, don't wear your favorite shirt while doing this. I just put on my art apron because I think I would have ruined my t-shirt. So depending on what paper you use, you're going to get different effects. Look how weird this one came out with all these spots. That's because this book page is not very absorbent, and so the dye stays on top. And of course, it takes a lot longer to dry than on a regular copy paper. But I think this is such a fun way to add an artsy touch to a journal without having to be able to actually really paint or something. You know what I mean? It's just a fun touch. By the way, I recently received a question from one of my subscribers saying that she made a journal for a friend and she has the feeling it's not cohesive at all, and whether I have any suggestions on how to make it cohesive. So she didn't share any photos of her journals, but what will always work is if you use similar colors throughout the journal and if you use similar page decorations. So what I'm doing right here is adding cohesivity. Is that a word? Cohesiveness? I don't know. You know what I mean. Because this is something that carries on throughout the journal and make it look like it's supposed to be one cohesive piece. You know what I mean? So later on, obviously, when we add some of the ephemera, that will add to it as well. And I actually love when that happens. What happens here is that the splatters are going to the page underneath, because I think that's a really nice effect actually. I just now have to be careful when I sew the page in that I sew it in so that this matches up. That might be a bit tricky. So you see how this orange here picks up the orange here on his breast. Love it. Okay, so we have 4 signatures with some fun, colorful splattering. So in the next video in this series, we'll make a cover for this journal. So if you want to play along, maybe you want to get your signatures ready in the meantime, you actually have 2 weeks until my next video, because the next video, which will be next Friday, so I'm always posting videos on Fridays at the moment, I will be adding my April signature to my junk journal planner. So have fun with putting together your own gratitude journal if you want to follow along, and hope to see you in the next one. Love you guys. Mwah! Mwah!